Previously on Danganronpa V2 New World Order.
A few seconds passed as she rummaged around in search of a pen and paper. Where, might I ask? Where is she looking? Initiating calibration.
Perform
Okay,
system reboot.
my hands have been primed for writing. How does that body storage work anyway, exactly? Well, I hope you're fast. Try me, bitch.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Danganronpa New World Order. Where we last left off, the investigation into Phoenix's murder began. Today I'm going to have to be a bit more quiet because there are people downstairs who are working and doing things. But where we last we gathered a couple of truth bullets. I wish I could view the truth bullets. For some reason it's not letting me this time around. I can't just go into my menu and look at what truth bullets I have. It gave me the option last time to go over them, but I guess I'll have the opportunity to do that when I get to the trial. But we've been partnered with Mii-Yu, and she's got some sass. And let's continue because we're hearing something coming from the throne room.
Let us make haste.
Then let us make haste. You run to the throne room with Mii-Yu.
Objection!
Objection! How could you say something like that, you witch? Now I can't stop thinking about it! Pierce, what's going on? Oh, Nat, Mii-Yu, are you here to save me? Come again? I was merely pointing out that both partners I've had so far have perished under tragic circumstances. First Blaze, and now Phoenix. I did not anticipate that Pierce would take it so personally. How else was I supposed to take it? Am I cursed to die next? Pierce-kun, I didn't take it for the superstitious type. Anyway, how goes your investigation? Oh, we've found plenty of clues so far, haven't we, Mii-Yu? In response, Mii-Yu proceeded to awkwardly dip her head. Well then, I have some information you might find interesting. Are you aware of my role in drafting the surveillance designations? I think we're all aware of that, Pierce. Then listen close. Readjust my camera quickly. Did you know that Hunt was on duty for the entire time of death period as stated in the Monocum file? I didn't know that. And neither did I.
Call it a hunch.
You really shouldn't be withholding information from your partner. Now here's some more interesting information. From 7 to 8 PM, guess who Hunt was on duty with? That's right, Phoenix himself. Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Nat? I'm trying not to go into the trial with any preconceived notions. Such a brilliant legal methodology. But unfortunately, I'd just like to add that in the right quantities, even circumstantial evidence can prove to be conclusive. Do you feel me? Should I add that last part to the notes? No, definitely not. Surveillance designations added to the truth bullets folder. Right. Designations around the time of the crime wars followed. Phoenix and Hunt were at 7 to 8. 8 to 9 were Hunt and Sigmund. So Hunt was on both, so he could have picked either, so why specifically go after Phoenix? I don't really know how this all comes to it. I just wish Mona was able to get started on the surveillance system today. The sooner we can rest easy, the better. She hasn't set it up yet? Indeed! She simply palmed me off when I asked. Said she'd start assembling it tomorrow instead. The power of procrastination. Does it know no bounds? Procrastination? I must say I'm surprised. Mona hardly seems like the type to hold off on starting something. Particularly if it was this urgent. I have to agree with Florence. I wonder why Mona would do such a thing. She did mention she was ill earlier, and yet she seemed fine just now. Did anyone else know about this? That Mona hasn't started yet? Negative. I see. Recalibrating. I shall add that to the notes. Like a surveillance. While Mona agreed to establish a surveillance system, her refusal to begin until tomorrow meant that no surveillance had occurred as of the time of the incident. Only Pierce knows of her refusal. Now that Pierce is done, why don't I share something I found with you all? Hey! What happened to not keeping secrets? Is it possible to keep a secret when its contents have only just emerged? While you were having your little discussion just now, I happened to steal a glance at the chair. Something seemed wrong. But I thought it impertinent to interrupt your conversation. What did you find out, Florence? Why don't you take a look for yourself? You approach the throne. What the? The back is made of swords! Oh? Did you only just realize?
Objection!
Objection! You clearly cast some kind of spell on me to control my actions. If only it were that simple. It looks like the slot at the back is empty. The slot is also really, really long. Okay, so this is where the sword came from. Yep, I bet it's at least double if not triple your height. Forget I said anything, fuck's sake. This one character in particular is just so freaking annoying. A missing sword from the throne room that is exceptionally long. Could it be? I think that's everything for now. Shall we visit Hunt and the others at the bicameral room, Mii-Yu? I see no reason to disagree. Let us go at once. Well, that's not a truth bullet. No, wait! Hold it right there. Are you sure you don't want to trade partners? Either of you? I don't believe that's how this ordinarily works. Hi, what Mii-Yu said. Not like this!
What a typical dumbbell.
Oh, Pierce, you can be such a dumbbell sometimes. We haven't heard that in a while. Haven't heard that insult. I suppose I'd better catch up with him. I wouldn't want to get fingered as the culprit because he decided to leave me alone during the investigation. Alright, I'm back. Sorry. Stuff happened. I had to take a bit of a dip, but we'll pick up where we left off. As Florence ran off, you could vaguely hear the sound of immature laughter echoing from the distance. Their partnership is quite unique, isn't it?
Naughty.
It seems we're not so special after all.
Logical error
Pardon?
detected.
Never mind.
Let's investigate.
In the meantime, let's not lose sight of our immediate goals. Agreed. So here we go again. The bicameral room. Ah, Nat! Mii-Yu!
Gracefully.
It's so nice of you to both drop by. And it's nice to see you too, Grace. How have things been going here? It's really quiet as usual. The only sounds from here are the ones we make ourselves. The door swung open again. Comrades! I didn't realize you'd be coming as a group. If I'd known, you could be sure I would have prepared an ample supply of tea and biscuits. And I would have done the same with coffee. Tea, biscuits, and coffee? In here? Well, I guess I can see the appeal. So, what brings you all here at this time? Mii-Yu and I are just here to check in, maybe investigate the room while we're at it too. Check in? Aw, that's nice of you too. Zeke and I are here for the same purpose. This too has already been determined. Gag, I was promised an enlightening experience. So this better be worth it.
Please enlighten us.
My dear Hunt, do you have anything you wish to share? No, comrade. Nothing out of the ordinary has happened this whole time. Can confirm. Not a single person has entered the room the entire time I was with Hunt. With Hunt? Could you two perhaps be... Be careful with that logic.
It's the truth,
I can use it to say the same about you and Levitica. Ouch. Nice one, Grace. Why don't you repeat what you just told me, Hunt? Repeat? But... Go on. It's sure to prove useful during the trial. Very well. As soon as Comrade Finker arrived, he suggested that we keep watch of the surrounding area as well as the room itself. So we left the entrance doors open. Before that, the doors had been closed. After all, it is our responsibility to safeguard this room and nothing else. But Comrade Finker can be rather persuasive when he wants to be. And what time was this, dear lamb?
With vigor!
He arrived at exactly 8 o'clock, so this was from 8 till 9. The first floor corridor of the building where Comrade Phoenix was found is visible from here, so we can both attest to the fact that, from 8 to 9, not a single soul passed through the corridor. You mean no one was seen entering or leaving the crime scene?
Presenting logic.
Perhaps a timed mechanism was at play, as was the case with Magnus. Considering the way the murder happened, though, this is definitely strange. I wouldn't be so hasty, dear lamb. This testimony pertains only to the area outside the room where the crime occurred.
Allow me to summarize.
There may have been some other way to flee the scene. But it was the only exit.
Oh!
Maybe they teleported. Alternatively, the crime may simply have been committed between 7 and 8. And you're sure you saw no one between 8 and 9?
Wow, that's
I
old.
mean, even I find my map awareness slipping every so often. Affirmative, comrade. If anyone had left the crime scene, we definitely would have noticed.
For the Great British
This,
Empire!
I swear you, in the name of the Great British Empire. So in summary, not a single person was spotted leaving the scene of the murder from 8 to 9 PM. Say, Hunt, is there something else you aren't telling us? Whatever do you mean, comrade?
Ugh, so passive.
Do you really need me to spell it out for you? Spell what out, comrade?
Do you hear it?
Guided by divinity, this is the view of myself and Zeke. That's what you have said, that what you have said may prove to be problematic in the trial. If no one left the room between 8 and 9, would it not mean that, in accordance with Mii-Yu's enlightening assertion, the crime was then committed at an earlier time? You're saying I'm suspicious? It is not my desire to render judgment upon the innocent, dear lamb. What I am presenting is an impartial view, guided only by the facts currently at our disposal. Precisely as decreed. I like this pose of hers. Yep, what she said. If I tell you what happened, you'd never believe me. Hunt? Have you been keeping something from me? There seems to be a lot of that going around. Pardon? Nothing. Well, I'd give you my trophy. But I kinda need it, you know. Very well. But again, be forewarned that this may be difficult to believe. Not too long before 8, there was a strange sound coming from inside. I was perfectly content with simply ignoring it, of course, but Phoenix said he'd be okay to stay behind and watch the room. So I went outside to investigate the source of the disturbance. Some time passed, I searched around, but it was as though the source of the noise had vanished. It must have been just before 8 when I came back, and by that point, Phoenix was gone. Phoenix was gone? Just like that? You mean he recalled back to base? Now is not the time for such tomfoolery, dear lamb.
What rubbish!
I thought he'd simply left. It was nearing the end of the shift anyway, but in hindsight there was something strange about the whole situation, including why he'd leave the bicameral room unattended if even for a brief period. You mean to say that while you were outside searching, someone could have entered the bicameral room? Negative, for you see the ultimate Hunt was able to think ahead, by utilizing a fabulous trick. A trick, you say? Ooh, do tell me more. It's simple, comrade. How do you tell if someone has been through your things without your permission? A fine dash of powder does the trick every time. A fine dash of powder? I learned this from Shuichi Saihara. You seem to have learned nicely from the ultimate tyrant. IIRC, he was quite fond of his white powdery substances. I'm the ultimate detective, not the tyrant.
How soulless.
What she said. No, you have me all wrong, comrades. All you have to do is sprinkle something under the door. It's very close to the ground, so it would be impossible to open it without disturbing your pattern. And that is why you felt comfortable leaving Phoenix alone in the room? Precisely, comrade. Even if Phoenix had tried any funny business, I would have known right away.
Bookmarking for future reference.
Processing data. That still leaves a few unanswered questions. What was that noise you heard, and why would Phoenix disappear like that? I'd like to know the answers too. It's not just those questions. Why would Sigmund want to monitor the surrounding area? Was he looking for something? Hunt's testimony. Not long before the surveillance designations were supposed to switch, there was a mysterious noise outside the bicameral room. By the time I got back, Phoenix was already gone. In accordance with Sigmund's suggestion, I kept watch over the surrounding area with him from 8 to 9 from what I could see of the corridor. Not a single person went in or left the crime scene during that hour. The door to the bicameral room wasn't open in the time that Phoenix was left alone. Right. KK, I think I've heard enough. Shouldn't we have a proper look at the crime scene, Levitica? I see no reason to disagree. Let us be off. Hang on. I know this is rather sudden, but could I ask a favor of everyone? Of course, Mii-Yu. What do you have in mind? We never figured out exactly when the room resets, did we? Good point! We're already well into the early hours of the morning at this stage, and if that's the case, the room may have already reset. Natalia, can I ask that you activate the room?
I can't.
Is there a reason you're singling her out in particular? It is indescribable, but this is the firm conclusion that my intuition drive is pointing towards. I just don't know why. Well, it was my turn, wasn't it, anyway? I suppose that's how intuition is supposed to work, isn't it? Not every facet of humanity is capable of rational explanation. Oh, what? Didn't mean to press that. Wow, Grace. Channeling your inner Sigmund, are we? I suppose there's a little bit of that in all of us. Come to think of it, Mii-Yu's right. This room is supposed to be our motive, right? It would be foolish not to investigate it just to be sure. And since a murder has already occurred, I'd conjecture that this would reduce the risk posed by the room rather substantially. If I'm to be honest, I have to say that going into the room still seems like a most foolish venture. I say go for it.
What rubbish!
Comrade Zeke? Why not? Comrade Robot Girl has made her place.
What a
In her
questionable
case,
play.
rather. And at some point, weren't we going to send Nat in anyway? I am inclined to agree. The results it could provide for our investigation may be invaluable. Having more knowledge about the functioning of the room could easily sway the outcome of the upcoming trial. Very well, comrade. But I'm going with you. Before you go, do you have a moment, Natalia? What is it? Please take this. She handed you a small lantern-shaped object. Levitica-chan? Why?
How soulless.
Because I do not intend to ever use the Devil Spawn's trinket. Yet if the enclosed instructions are to be believed, having the lantern in your possession will serve to illuminate the darkness. I thought it might be useful if you decide to investigate the room, in case the darkness was to consume it once again. You're freely giving me your trinket? She really hasn't used it. The wick is completely fresh. Even the glass is in pristine condition. I believe the appropriate word here is redundant, dear lamb. No matter how bright the light, a mere lantern would never suffice as a remedy of spiritual disturbance. Ergo, it is useless to me. Well, if you insist. Piercing lantern, that's a truth bullet? A small, completely unused lantern, though it was Levitica's trinket. She handed it to Natalia because she believed it was redundant and would be better served helping with the investigation of the bicameral room. We only have 15, so we're halfway there. Hey, Levitica-chan, I'd like to thank you again for talking to me all those times. You've been looking out for me since the start, and I can tell you're a really kind person. How amusing. We are investigating the death of a compatriot, and I'm a suspect the same as everyone else. What possessed you to say something like that? Because your opinion has always been valuable to me. Well, she's the killer. She's gotta be at this point. The killer. What do you think
What
of
a
them?
restless soul.
The killer. I believe they are many things. Despicable and vile, yes. But perhaps they are also shackled, caged, even helpless.
Soft, charming.
It's a feeling I know all too well. So it is,
Caution is advised.
And on the matter of kindness, I fear you may have misjudged me. I am routinely unkind to heathens, scoundrels, and those whose clothes refuse to yield their colours. Our batch seems to have all those in abundance. Sometimes I wonder what every higher being thinks of us and of the future of our world. I'm sure they'd be proud of you and your remarkable restraint. Your words are flattering. Perhaps someday you too will finally allow the voices of the gods to fill your heart. With a polite dip of the head, you watched as she rejoined Zeke. I apologize for the delay, Zeke. Let us be off. Yeah, just go already. Levitica, it seems we're all having our share of redundant trinkets, aren't we? Comrade Grace, do you still insist on indulging Comrade Robo-Girl's intuition? I am certainly not opposed. The danger is undeniable, and yet, I understand that you have been nominated, but the decision is ultimately yours. Just do what you think is right now. Then I've made up my mind. Sorry. Hunt, if you will. Very well. Holding your freshly activated lantern in front and with Hunt following closely behind you, soon crossed the threshold into the room. Once again, the world around you swirled restlessly. This is... Did it change? It did change. What is this? So this is what rests within your subconscious, comrade. I must say, this is certainly not what I was expecting. A countryside cottage with a light? No, it's not ringing any bells. What's going on? Is everything alright in there? Hi, there's no need to worry, Grace. Do you feel you're remembering anything from this, comrade? Anything at all? No, I'm not. Regardless, I hope this will eventually prove useful. Maybe this isn't her room, maybe this is Phoenix's room or something. Soon after, you both walked out of the bicameral room. At least we know it reset. Say, Mii-Yu, would you be able to take a quick look at the room and maybe take some notes down? I need some time to think it over. On it! I trust it revealed some important information. We'll have to see. With Florence's help from earlier, I also managed to recreate the cipher from the previous room. I'll be sure to write notes on the condition of both rooms. Wow, Mii-Yu, you're so diligent. Again, it's nothing. Third bicameral room added to the truth bullets folder. Cryptic cipher and the apparent motive of the case. What could its purpose be? And then the fourth one. A countryside landscape with a simple cottage at the centre. Amidst the darkness of the clouds above, a vertical beam was seen to extend down the cottage. Right. Okay, I think we've been through enough with this place. Do you have any suggestions for where we should go next, Mii-Yu? Scanning? Why don't we head back to the school for now? The entrance to the trial grounds are there. Also, it would enable you to change your clothes. I knew I was bloody, but this is a bit much.
Sorry for that.
I really am new to this whole
Seriously.
investigation thing, aren't I? I was wondering about that too. But since Mii-Yu didn't say anything, I assumed it must have happened while you were investigating. She hardly seems the sort to let you commit murder right in front of her.
Affirmative.
I can vouch for that fact. I see no issues at this point with returning to the school. I'm ready to go back when you are. Certainly. But before we wrap things up, please allow me to say this. I think your investigative prowess is incredible. If this qualifies as underdeveloped in your eyes, I marvel at the thought of what you consider to be a duly competent investigator. Mii-Yu. After saying your goodbyes to Hunt and Grace, you both decide to head back to the school. The posters we passed. Were they there before? I did not see them prior to now. Plays, huh? But if they were, that would explain why almost no one was at dinner. Still, who could have done this? Surely we wouldn't be presenting them so early. Okay, I'll try not to take too long, Mii-Yu. Not a problem. We're not saying that Sigmund is the killer, are we? I don't think he is. It doesn't make sense. He seems a bit too important. A few minutes pass as you change into a new set of clothes and scrub feverishly at your hands. Say, Mii-Yu. Mii-Yu? Over here. Coming. What's wrong? It's still weird how eerily similar everyone's rooms are. Almost like we've reused assets. Aha! The prodigal warden shows herself at last. Elisa, what are you doing here? Dash ran into a bit of a mishap, so we had to head back. Or should I say he dashed into one? Anyway, we just got here. And my, do we have something to share. Mishap? I can imagine. I assure you it's nothing, ma'ams. Right. So, what's going on here? Do you see that weird contraption? The one set up right over there? What? Hold the phone. Is that a net and some, Yep. It extends to just outside Mona's dormitory. A contraption with a mysterious purpose.
I wonder what the audience would think.
I wonder what the audience would make of such a suspicious sight. Judging from the way it's set up, it's supposed to dump all of that in front of the door when the rope is cut. So it appears, ma'am. And yet it seems that something has gone awry. As ma'am can see, the rope has been disconnected from the rest of the mechanism. I wonder if Mona-chan would be okay with us prying into her room. Don't worry about that. She left her door open. In the world of journalism, that means we have an implied license to enter.
Comes with the turn.
Provided we don't get caught. Right, I like Elisa a lot. What's this feeling that I can't shake? Something is definitely wrong. Something else. Just as I thought. Pardon, ma'am? You see the bit of the rope that goes inside? Like you correctly deduced, it's been cut. Yet because the outside part was disconnected from the device, nothing happened? It seems strange things are certainly afoot. Strange contraption. Do we have a picture? Oh, we do, okay. Found set up outside Mona's dormitory. Various objects were found suspended in midair, poised to drop in front of the door at the time of the climb. However, since the connection between the inside and outside of the room had been severed, it became impossible to activate from the inside. Ma'ams, take a look at this! We need to talk. If you don't want everyone to find out the truth, come to the bicameral room tonight. Oh, so the third one must have been Mona's bicameral room in that case. I imagine that's probably it. This just in. It appears someone was blackmailing a resident weapons master. Blackmail? But what could that person be hoping to achieve with that, writing a note and all? And what could dear Mona have to hide? Your guess is as good as mine. I, for one, am looking forward to seeing the truth through to its conclusion. Blackmail? So does that mean Mona went to the bicameral room yesterday? Mysterious note added. We found in Mona's room. It reads as follows. We need to talk. If you don't want everyone to find out the truth, come to the bicameral room tonight. Say, guy... What? We don't have all the bullets! Okay, ladies and gentlemen, your time is now up. Please assemble at the park to await the start of the class trial. I can't wait to see you all there. Pooh! The park? But... Natalia, were you about to say something? Don't worry. I'm sure we'll have plenty of time to deliberate over the facts during the trial. We must get a bullet in the middle of the trial, I'd imagine. Sounds good. As always, I look forward to working with you all to uncover the truth. This is Elisa Cassidy, signing off for tonight. Let us make haste, Dash. Okay, but we're stopping by the cafeteria one last time. Within seconds, their voices had faded into the distance. Natalia, I think it has to be said, you really are like a completely different person when you're at a crime scene. Your entire demeanor changes. Nani? I swear I'm the same as always, Nyan. I mean no offense when I say this, of course. It's just, for instance, I observed your use of foreign phrasing to plummet substantially in the short time we spent together investigating. I'm being measured on that? Well, now that the investigation is mostly complete, I feel a little better, Nyan. How about you? I just feel worried that somehow we won't be able to find the truth. We can't doubt ourselves, Mii-Yu. The last thing we want is to twist those doubts into reality. In that case, I have made my decision. Overriding self-preservation drive. I've been keeping a secret from you. You see, I was in the vicinity of Medieval World tonight. I, didn't see anything at all. Of course, I wasn't watching the place where the crime occurred, but something in my intuitive cognition was telling me, this is where you need to be. I must sound utterly unconvincing, don't I? I suppose this is what the people in law enforcement would call self-incrimination. No, Mii-Yu. I believe you. If you say that you saw nothing, then I don't care that you were in the area. You've given me a reason to believe otherwise. No reason to believe otherwise. I fear that the other candidates will not be so receptive to such news. But thank you for trusting me on both occasions where I have cited my intuition drive. It's a remarkably unscientific thing, is it not?
I'm glad of this outcome.
I'm glad I was partnered up with you. Likewise, Mii-Yu-chan. You really are extraordinary, Nyan. Oh, there you go. There's the last one. Mii-Yu's secret. As instructed by her intuition drive, Mii-Yu was in the general vicinity of the crime scene around the time of the incident. However, she claimed she wasn't able to see anything of importance from her vantage point. We should go. Hold on a second. I just need to review the incident one more time. Okay, here we go. Just quick look through the truth bullets from last episode. Alright. The victim was Phoenix, the ultimate doctor. Death occurred sometime between 9 and 7 PM after 4 stab wounds were sustained around or through the heart. The body was found in one of the outlying buildings of Medieval World just across from the bicameral room. Modus operandi seems to fit the infamous Indigo Killer, a ruthless and apparently trained professional who always caught their victims by surprise. Each victim would be left to die slowly after the arteries around their hearts were severed. Likely to be a young female, apparently more interested in killing the victim than covering up their own crime. The victim's heart was impaled by a branched sword. An additional 3 stab wounds were sustained, with each stab severing an artery. General lack of defensive wounds suggests the victim was caught by surprise. Traces of skin were found underneath the fingernail of the right index finger. The skin did not belong to the victim. Right. The branched sword, which was very long and wide, was left impaled inside the victim's heart. The blood on the branch's tip did not come from the victim. The sword apparently stuck the floor beneath the victim, leaving a dent. The room where the crime occurred, other than the fireplace, which was not lit at the time of the crime, and has no natural light sources of its own. The room directly above has built-in torches, however these remained unused as of the time of the incident. The corridor outside has no light sources. There is a hole in the ground not wide enough for a person to fit through. Designations around the time of the crime were as follows. 7 to 8 was Hunting Phoenix, 7 to 9 was Hunting Sigmund. While Mona agreed to establish a surveillance system, her refusal to begin until tomorrow meant that no surveillance had occurred at the time of the incident. Only Pierce knew of her refusal. Not long before the surveillance designations were supposed to switch, there was a mysterious noise outside the bicameral room. By the time I got back, Phoenix was already gone. In accordance with Sigmund's suggestion, I kept watch over the surrounding area with him from 8 to 9. From what I could see of the corridor, not a single person went in or left the crime scene during that hour. The door to the bicameral room wasn't open in the time that Phoenix was left alone. A small, completely unused lantern, though, was Leviticus' trinket. She handed it to Natalia because she believed it was redundant and we'd better serve helping with the investigation of the bicameral room. A cryptic cipher in the apparent motive of the case. What purpose could it be? Countryside landscape, a simple cottage at the centre of it. The darkness of the clouds above a vertical beam that seemed to extend down towards the cottage. Found set up outside Mona's dormitory. Various objects were found suspended in midair, poised to drop in front of the door at the time of the crime. However, since the connection between the inside and outside of the room had been severed, it became impossible to activate from the inside. Found in Mona's room, it reads as follows. We need to talk. If you don't want everyone to find out the truth, come to the bicameral room tonight. As instructed by her intuition drive, Mii-Yu was seen in the general vicinity of the crime scene around the time of the incident. However, she claims she wasn't able to see anything of importance from her vantage point. Right, let's see. Well, that wasn't just needlessly prolonged. Look, it's almost sunrise.
That is the
I
opinion of the
concur.
law.
The proceedings have been delayed for long enough. Ah, have you two made amends? Something to that effect.
Objection!
Objection! Is the witness implying there was something that needed mending? Sleepy. Before you drift off, Mona. Right you are.
Let's get down to business.
Here you go, everyone. Oh, she's about to switch, isn't she? As if on cue, she passed out pieces of paper to everyone, bobbing up and down the while. Area map. Oh, we got a new one. Okay, everyone, if I can have your attention. This is the ground
Thank
floor.
you very much.
Make sure you take a nice long look at it. And this is the first floor. Dare I ask how Ma'am even had time to make these? Let's just say Sigmund likes talking. We had quite a bit of free time for drawing. I'll take that as a compliment. So both your day and night cells can draw plans, huh? A little bit of consistency really does go a long way. Yup. Yup. It's not exactly a special skill or anything.
Why?
Do we really have to do this again?
Dear lamb.
In the absence of an alternative choice, dear lamb, it seems that shall be the case. And so, like last time, all of the candidates boarded the elevator. Would they find the truth they were so desperately looking for? As they began descending into the bowels of the school, a few of them certainly pondered that question. One only vaguely aware of the sinister truth that would be revealed in the long hours to follow. There we go. And so that's the investigation sequence done. We finally get into the trial next episode. Finally, Jesus. Anyway, I don't really have anything else to say at this point. I'm really not sure who it could be, honestly. I really am drawing a complete blank. My current prime suspect, I feel like it's not going to be Mii-Yu, because I feel like she's important, and it's not going to be Mona, or Hunt, because there's too many red herrings there. The problem is, I don't know who else it could be. My current 3 prime suspects are Sigmund. For some reason, they seem to be playing up the fact that Sigmund might have something to do with the murder, but I also feel like he's too important to die at this point. But there's also a chance that the whole idea of the show was done as a way of keeping everyone busy so he could concoct this murder plan. I don't think that's the case, though. It's just a random theory. Florence is also a suspect, primarily because of the whole thing with the secret serial killer thing. If there's anyone here who has exhibited signs of secretly being a killer or being someone psychotic, it's her. The third one is Levitica. For some reason, I'm incredibly sus of Levitica, and I have no idea why. I don't have much else to say at this point, so thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. So long, farewell!
Could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move